freezing, and to thank you all for coming along for our second public meeting on our non-motorised use of pathway. I'm going to ask a trick question first. Has everybody managed to read the actual feasibility study, the latest version? Yes?
Scanned it.
Yes, excellent. Okay. It's very long, very detailed. I confess myself, I've read it several times and I still have to work out what is exactly what's saying. But the conclusions and recommendations seem to be fairly clear. So what we want to do this evening is just take you through where we've got to, what happens next, and importantly to get some input from you as well. So any immediate questions or how we get stuck in? Okay. So what we're going to talk about this evening, I'll take you through, is why we're doing it in the first place, and some of our fellow commissioners have asked that question, what the parish council decided at its last meeting with regard to this, and why we want to pursue Route 2, which is the most recent recommendation from Transport Initiatives, what the Transport Initiatives and Cambs County Council, what the research covered, the extent to which they listened to everybody else, and what they concluded, just to give us an overview of that. If you want the detail, I can go into some of that too. We've involved a local landowner who might be affected by it, and we've got their response, and we want to share that with you too. And finally, what happens next. Okay? So, I confess that a lot of, or some of this, is my own personal views and feelings in terms of why we would want a non-motorised use of pathway. But it was interesting when we did the survey and we got responses about who might use it. Hi, come in. It was interesting the number of different age groups that were represented and the number of different age groups that said they may well use a cycle route or an NMU pathway if we had it. So who benefits from it? Well, if I go to school in Stanton, then currently my parents will drive me there and have to drive me back. But I work somewhere nearby or further afield, so I have to drive there or get to the park and ride or get to a station, etc. etc. I'm a student, how do I get to college? Somebody has to drive me there, or I have to drive myself. If I'm in a mobility chair, or just like walking or cycling, then are our roads safe to do that? Not really. So that's just to give a flavour of who benefits from pursuing this route. Why spend the money? My sense, I don't know how much you've been reading about the impact on our health for both getting exercise and being outdoors and getting to places where pollution is a bit lower, or indeed trying to reduce the level of pollution. So this is just from some recent information that's been in the public domain about the links between pollution and various diseases. There's not much of my body left if I go take away the heart, the lungs, and my brain. So all of that's affected by pollution. I was horrified to read this in the press last week that across the UK, only 10% of children have access to the great outdoors. I mean, look at us, we're surrounded by the great outdoors, we've got a fantastic place to live, but we're trapped within it, and we're not able to make the best use of the great outdoors if we try and get anywhere beyond the boundary. And then the whole notion of exercise and how it helps the health of all age groups, but also a number of illnesses as well. We've got Parkinson's, exercise helps, for example. So all of these things for me, and the previous slide in terms of who might benefit directly, say to me that it's a good thing to try and get a non-motorised pathway, get the access safely to some rides so that we can get beyond. Hi, welcome. Come in. We've only just about started. Do you want me to do a quick recap, or are you happy just to jump in? Okay, please come in. Welcome.
Oh, there's nothing.
Hi there. So we're just looking at why we're bothering, why we're doing this, what are some of the benefits. We've been through the kind of people that might make use of the non-motorised use of pathway that is safe and takes us to St Ives or towards St Ives, and potentially beyond. And we've just been here at the nature of health improvements we might get if more of us get on bicycles and get outside, but hopefully in a safe condition. Please interrupt, by the way, any time you've got questions, queries, whatever. So at the last parish council meeting at the beginning of the month, we went through the report that Transport Initiatives produced on behalf of the County Council, and we have agreed to pursue the recommendation that they've made, which is to adopt a route that goes from Hilton to Fenstanton along that road, and there's more detail to come in terms of what that is and what it looks like. So we have put our hands up and said, yes, we'd like to do this, and we've advised the County Council of that decision. Fenstanton Parish Council, some of you may know, they already have a tick in the box permission to develop a cycle route or an NMU pathway, get my terms right, from Fenstanton along Fen Lane to the guided busway. So effectively, working with them, and they're very happy to work with us on this, we can connect and make sure it's a through route all the way. And of course, at Fenstanton and St Ives, you're then onto a national cycle route, if you so wish. So it will get you even further afield if you want to do that. So we felt that that was the best options to go for that particular route. Hi, come in.
Sorry.
What the parish council have said to the county council is that in pursuing this, because there's another stage of detailed design to follow, so we've got the kind of rough outline of what the path, where it will be and what the mini options are within that. We are saying to the county council, key concerns are safety, for particularly non-motorised users, trying to keep the cost as low as we possibly can, minimising disruption. We've all had a lot of that with all the A14, and ideally minimum imposition on farmland. We need farmland for farming, so how can we make the best out of what's available? The next slide shows you a map. Has anybody had a chance, somehow, had a chance to look at the map in the report? Yes? No. So this is it. Route 2 is this one, this dark line here. That's the one that we are supporting, which, as you see, connects up at Fenstanton all the way to the guided bus. Can I just hesitate there and ask if everybody's got any immediate thoughts, questions? What came to your mind when you saw that, if you've seen it before? Yes?
Can I ask, is the intention tarmac that will be Fenstanton to the guided busway? Because they got £100,000, I believe, from the last meeting I heard. And I wonder whether that's enough to tarmac it, or if it's not, which is gravel.
You'll see, I think, somewhere in the report, there are several different options as to what kind of surface you might go for. And certainly at this stage, for our bid, and I can't tell you because I simply don't know what Fenstanton might have opted for. In fact, I'm pretty sure they're in the detailed design phase at the moment themselves. But we haven't, there's been no decision made about the nature of the surface, because that will depend on which bits of land they actually want to use in the end, what exists already, and what kind of budget they're willing to put into it. So sadly, I can't answer that question. But you will see in the report they're quite detailed in the different options that you might have for a surface. And obviously there are very expensive versions to fairly cheap and cheerful, but with varying degrees of, I suppose, comfort for the users. And if there are people in mobility scooters, they're going to need a better surface than perhaps a cyclist might. So, to be decided, I think. So, any other thoughts, questions, reactions?
Well, the other point was whether it could be one-way traffic from Hilton to Fenstanton below road, which was
came up the last meeting.
Innovative solution that was rejected out of hand by somebody who might know about these things and done as if it would never be accepted by a district council?
Well, where we are at the moment is, and again, within the report you'll see there are some options within the Route 2 route. So in other words, there's a completely off-road option, which is taking up more farmland, all the way through to simply having better signage on the road, which may or may not include traffic, chicanes and so on. But the big but here is if you go for that route, it's okay for cyclists, but it is not okay for pedestrians or mobility scooter users. So you've got to weigh up who's going to benefit and how many will benefit by the different solutions on offer.
Can you elaborate about that? Because it's not immediately apparent to me why it wouldn't be okay for mobility scooter or pedestrians.
Sorry?
I'd have thought it would be legal for a mobility scooter to go down the low road in its present form.
Well, yeah, but you were saying with chicanes and so on.
With chicanes, why would it be unacceptable?
Well, my limited understanding, I'm not the expert on this, is that if you have two-way traffic or even one-way traffic, and you also have mobility scooters and, say, cycles and pedestrians, then motorists can relatively easily get beyond a cyclist and a pedestrian, but far less so overtaking, let's say, a mobility scooter. And the road is relatively narrow. If you've got two-way traffic, it's a bit more dangerous.
One-way traffic, it wouldn't be more dangerous. Why would a mobility
Well,
scooter
I can't really answer the detail of that question, because what they're suggesting is that when they get to the detailed design phase, they will look at what's the art of the possible. But the other thing to bear in mind is that, I came across it the other day, there's a substantial document that dictates what an NMU path needs to look like, its width, its surface, etc., etc. So they are constrained quite a large extent by what these, it's not just guidelines, they have to comply to these particular requirements. Now, I don't know enough, if I'm honest, to know why that might stop them from letting NMU, mobility scooter users or pedestrians not just go on the road with better signage or some chicanes or one way. So I'm sorry I don't have the answer to it. I tell you, one of the things that struck me when I got the latest report was I was delighted to see that it wasn't a case of them saying, right, here's our recommendation, that's it, that is route to the end. It was, here's the recommendation, the Hilton fence stanchion route, but there are different options, but we need to do a lot more work to determine what the best solution is going to be. And I found that comforting, because it means that we've got a chance to influence what they come up with, as well as then be a bit more thorough, being very thorough, but more thorough about the detail of the different options that they are investigating or have investigated so far. So, to be resolved. Anything you can add to that, Ian?
We've come to it there, really.
Okay, good. So there's still quite a lot to be done. Thanks.
I was a bit concerned reading the reports about the lack of traffic speed measurements for that route. It's only been measured in one direction at peak time, and there seems to be more vehicles speeding on that road than seems to be mentioned. And there is mention through the green of excess speed.
Yes. Well, you see, I'm hoping they'll pick up that sort of thing when they get to that detailed design phase, because for all of us, the impact of the new A14 and the flyovers and all that stuff has affected the pattern of people driving into and out of the village. And I think, goodness knows, I'm not sure when it's going to open, but for them to see and take better readings, more readings of that route, to then say, well, what is doable, feasible, I think.
I think it would be also helpful if that's done when the 40-mile-an-hour limit was removed.
Yes, exactly. I agree. Because they took more residents of the Potton Road, because that was the first thought, was to adopt the Potton Road as an NMU option. So there's still quite a lot more to be done. But I think really one of the things I've learned from all of this is that the feasibility study gives you, I'm going to be a pun-like here, but gives you a direction of where you want to focus, but then the detail has yet to come. And I guess until we get to the next stage, assuming we can get to the next stage, then we're not going to get the answers to that, because they're not going to go to that level of detail for all the options. So we need to give them one to focus on. Okay, let me move on. Picking up the point about why the Parish Council felt that the second route to, that's the Hilton and Stanton, was the one to go for. It is the shortest, safest route to Stanton, but it also recognises Stanton as a destination, certainly for some of the school children, but also for some adults as well. And because Stanton was doing so much for themselves on the pathway through to St Ives and guided bus, etc., then the shortest route there made a lot of sense. And some of the feedback we had to Route 6, which was the first one they recommended, was that one, it was very lengthy. Some parts of it were very secluded, going across country, which was a little bit uncomfortable feeling. And there were crossings on the Potton Road. At the point where they recommended it, there were also going to be crossings on the Stanton Road. Actually, they've pulled back from that. But nevertheless, it was not felt to be relatively safe. It was felt to be long. It wasn't the most direct way. And some of you who were here at the last meeting said, there's no way I would cycle along there, whatever you did to it. As one of you said, at the last part of the public meeting, one of the parishioners came up with the idea, well, why can't we do more to develop the idea of the Hilton and Stanton Road so that we end up with something that's direct, and it's not such a busy road to start with, so it's bound to be safer. But then if we add the measures you have to have an official NMU path, then we could have a good solution there. So I was delighted that Transport Initiative picked up on that idea and really have worked it, albeit there's more to do. That route also involves less disruption and less cost. Not necessarily cost that we would pay. So just a kind of recap to where we started and where we are, the working group in the Parish Council suggested 5 possibilities for the Transport Initiatives folk to look at. They added a 6th, and I hope you feel that the report has been pretty impressive in terms of the detail it has covered, and that fairly in-depth analysis of each option, albeit it's never going to be as much as we need it to be in order to say, right, this is the solution, staying with someone else. The first one recommended Route 6, as I've said, which we rejected, and then came up with Route 2. That was then taken to the landowner who's likely to be most affected by a cycle or NMU path along Hilton and Stanton Road to get their views, and that was fed into the pot as well. So the recommendation of the revised Route 2 has actually been informed by both parishioners here and the landowner before coming up with the solution, which I'm very pleased about. And the landowner, how did they respond? This was always a fear intimidation moment. Within Route 2 there are 3 main options, which you'll see in the report, more or less on that person's land. And one of those options suggested that for 130 metres of the route, it would be built on top of a culverted ditch. So a big fat pipe in the ditch, path built on top. The Parish Council rejected that idea, given our floods. Has anybody heard about floods recently? But very much endorsed by the landowner, that there's no way he would find that acceptable to culvert a ditch for that length, given the land there has been flooded in the past. So That was fed back to Transport Initiatives and the County Council, which they have taken on board. And the final report does reference the fact that with no convent did what's possible, what's available to us. The landowner was comfortable with the other routes, not to say negotiations yet to be finalised, but at least they're not saying no, not willy-nilly. There seems to be room to make progress, which is very heartening. Talked about this already. The one option you'll see in the report is to simply add some signage to say that that road is for everything and everybody, or cyclists as well as vehicles. But they also add that for pedestrians and mobility vehicle users, they would recommend getting to St Ives of Stantonella via Route 6, which is going along a footpath, Potton Road, crossing over, etc. So that doesn't appeal to me. But we'll see. These are design and negotiation required to finalise. So there is more work to be done, but we have to kind of give them a starting point. Okay, how are we going? Now, this is where you come in even more than you've been. And in order to fund the feasibility study, we got funding from the Cambridgeshire Community Foundation, and to secure that payment, we are obliged to provide them with a report of the feasibility study, what it covered, what it's delivered, and so on. But they're also very, very keen to get some feedback from parishioners. No point in just saying parish council think this and that, not good enough, quite right. So we actually want at least one case study. What on earth could the case study be about? Well, given that it's a feasibility study, it's not an actual path, there's a limit to how much one can say. But the case study could be about things like, I'm so pleased that now there is an option to get access to Penstanton, St Ives and beyond without driving. There is an option for me to cycle with my children to school rather than, driving them here, driving them there. It could be about the potential for what the NMU pathway might deliver. I suspect, I've not been here that many years, but I suspect that someone's given up hope of getting in decent, safe pathway out of the village, and it's even worse now with the new A14 and all the impact that it's created. So any volunteers for that, yes please, we can give you a pro forma for what to cover. Good. They've also asked for photographs of public meetings, and Andy, bless him, has volunteered to take photographs, but he'll only take the views from the back, so none of you can be identified. Okay? So if we could have your permission to use those, I'd be very grateful. Any feedback you'd like to share with us on the feasibility study report itself, in terms of what it's covered, and I think you were pointing about Route 2, in terms of the speed and traffic flows, is one. About their responsiveness to what we've fed back to them and what the landowner has fed back to them. All need its conclusions. Happy to take that feedback now, or chat all that, or email it, but we need it within this week because we have a deadline for producing that report. In addition, the Parish Council need to do some progress reporting against key indicators that were set at the start. So we'll do that bit, but we need your help with the rest. Any immediate volunteers for case studies? Yes! I love that lady. Can I get one of these? I'll give you one of these, and then you can holler with any questions. Well, how do you get two? Separate. Thank you very much. That's great. Any other? And we're happy to include within it comments. Yes, please.
I'd be happy to be a volunteer.
One of the fact code of case studies. Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you, team. That's tremendous. Very pleased. So we take feedback. Sorry, can I get more? You don't do that. Sorry. So I keep looking into this light and it's blinding me. Thank you. Have I missed anybody else?
No, I've got.
Yes. Nice lead into the next slide. Thank you. Okay, I've explained that we've advised the County Council not to go ahead with number 2. We're completing the CZF report with your help. The County Council, to be honest, I was quite surprised by this, but mega delighted, that they've already put our proposal into the next round of decisions about pathways that they will enable to happen. The funding for actually creating these comes from Highways England's designated funds, which were set up, well, I have my own view of why they were set up, but anyway, they have set up this fairly substantial heap of funding to help with things like NMU pathways, community things that will help deal with, this is my words, not theirs, the impact of building motorways and motorway-like routes. So that's where the money comes from for building the thing. I had this view that we might be knocking on people's doors and rattling cages for many months to pull some money together, but that's not really the case. Whenever we might get the go-ahead, so we might be successful next April, we might not, maybe another 6 months, might be another year, question mark. But once we've got it, then we'll get into this detailed design, more discussions, costings, and timescales of what's feasible when it will be done by at that point to come up with a final solution and a way of creating it. So it's got a way to go yet. This is stage 1. So then this bit, I hope I'm still here then. So that's what happens next. Does that answer your...
So if the cost is X amount, will HE designated funds provide 100%?
That's my understanding. That's my understanding. To be honest, I'm a skeptic, so I'm fully prepared to turn around and say, no, you're supposed to donate something or whatever. But in an email from one of the County Council people who heads up, like Davis, who heads up the whole cycle routes thing, that's what he said. It will be funded by HE designated funds. So that's what happens next. Is this a good point to maybe take your immediate feedback and thoughts about the report, the solution so far?
Well, I'd just like to question this decision by Hilton Parish Council, apparently endorsed by the landowner, that a culvert was totally unacceptable. I mean, has there ever been flooding of that low road?
Yes.
At a stage, but the initial bit from the green to the egg farm, in my experience over 30 years, has never been flooded. And if a culvert was just simply covering what is currently a very deep ditch, how would that be a problem?
It's not there, I don't think, is it yet? It's beyond that.
No, it is actually, it is that section.
Oh, big fun.
Yeah.
I get confused.
What they had anticipated using was a metre section concrete culvert. Now, currently, the cross-section of the ditch is probably equivalent to about 2.25 times that cross-section. And there have been occasions when that ditch has been just about brimming full.
But never flooding over the road.
Well,
but very lower down, towards Fenstanton, there haven't been roads, there has not been a flood between the green and the egg farm.
Well,
in 30 years that I've seen.
Possibly so, but it's interesting that what Mike said was that when his house was built, because that area has been flooded at times in the past, then his house actually has 3 steps going up into it to avoid flooding of the house, because they knew that that land where the yard is does flood. and that's why they made it so high. So I say it has, in living memory, been that high, not perhaps in the 30 years that you and I have been here.
Have you seen that area? Have you seen it?
I have seen it go across the road.
Comment at the back as well.
First in the late 70s, which the whole of that was flooded.
Right to Fence
And
Stanton,
all the falls were flooded all the way up to Rutland Green. And it basically, the post where the
46 years, so...
so it has been flooded.
So there has been one
Has been
time.
flooded.
You're on holiday at the time.
Yeah, it has been flooded.
So it's a culvert with don't feet.
Well, it's all to do with the cross-section of the water carrying capacity. Most of what they've got in place is a metre. And the cross-section of the drain as it's now standing is about 2.25 times that size.
Well, what you have to understand as well is now the new A14 is coming online. That road has changed these waterways. And these waterways now are flowing differently. And if you look down where they are at the moment, going toward Fence Stanton and Covington, they are still working out the way that surface water is acting, because they still have a problem at Connington in as much as they are now pumping it because the gravity system is not working. So don't suffer the illusion that this is what it was before, because it isn't.
Right, so the
No,
reason,
it's to do with the flow.
Yeah.
These are gravity things. These are not being pumped, they are gravity.
We had the
So
same
basically, if they are restricted, they are going to back up, and they are backing up at the moment.
so I mean, this is a new problem. So therefore, the experience of the last 50 years may not be relevant. And therefore, we should actually, and in view of this new imposition of a different system, we have they have an obligation to provide us with a better way of dealing with the flood.
But that's, for me, all these questions, and I don't mean to be ducking entirely, but it seems to me that the detailed design and the negotiations that will go on at that stage will start to uncover some of this. Because at the moment, we don't have necessarily all the information that suggests what the future might be like.
Exactly.
And that's why we need that detailed design phase in order to better inform us, but also in discussion with the landowner. Because it seems to me that they are key, to the whole thing moving forward. Okay, I've made a note here of that. So, question mark about culverted option or not.
And observation of the flooding pattern because of the new developments. That's absolutely crucial, isn't it?
That's why we're looking at the changed waterway, so we need to understand that. Okay, so what other comments, thoughts, ideas do we have? And do you like anything on the report?
You already had mine about the speed measurement.
Yeah.
It's quite critical. There's a few things that don't.
Actually, what they've done is at the bottom of that.
Okay.
Has that been dealt with then when they get the tree? So the end of the pass is actually close. I mean, that's where you could do something like that. Stop traffic around.
Good. It says visibility is substandard for 60 miles per hour. The speeds are much lower. Well, we're in a 40 mile restriction and they haven't made it correctly.
But I agree, they're going to have to do a lot of this stuff.
Yeah, well, what we don't want to do is, at this stage, say, oh, that's fine, so we can put silence there, and then we just need to worry about the districts.
Okay.
Let's make sure.
Yeah, okay.
So what is
We'll
happening?
complete.
So what's happening? I mean, that's the funniest bit. It's a bit between the the end of the path now over the new pathway and Pear Tree Close. I mean, obviously, I certainly see like they put traffic lights on that bit of road. It's only one way, so that would reduce the traffic because people think it's a long way, waiting around here. So, is that a possibility?
Well, it's an interesting point because we've had a discussion with transport initiatives as to what options there are at that point. Because you could argue carry on a pathway that's on, well, I'm heading towards Hensamples on the right-hand side, but nonetheless then you have to cross that road where there's a lot of traffic going up to Coddington and on to the A14. So how do you deal with that?
You wouldn't need to cross the road, go under the
subway.
Why would you go up that road?
Oh, I see. I'm
So
sorry,
if you made that bit of road,
It's that last bit.
that last
towards
bit,
Petree Close.
if where the new path finishes,
Mm.
once you've got
Yeah.
past over the
Just
A14.
by the bend.
Yeah, so if you
The
make
most
that bit,
dangerous point.
yeah, but say you made that one way, so that half the road's empty path, or cycleway, whatever, the other half was just traffic lights, so basically the traffic could only go in one direction at a time. That would reduce the traffic because people would take longer, so people would cut that way, and it would make the path easier on the road.
So that's an option instead of creating a new
Yeah,
pathway all the way through, is to have a traffic light system which
On the
controls
end.
traffic in order for the cyclists and other users of the pathway, what's it called?
because that must be the most difficult part to do, I should have thought.
Well, that does slow that bit.
Yeah, but this end, so there's more room, isn't there, on the
Yeah.
side of the road
Yeah.
for a path to be built. But when you get to the far end,
There's
unless you
no-
went round the back over the fields, there's nowhere to
Unless
go.
you went to the left, if you're going back with woodland, you'd have to cross the
Okay,
road.
and one of the things that's occurring to me is that a lot of these points are, as I've said a few times now, that are really about the detailed design phase. And I'm confident, given what we've had so far from these folks, that they will want to hear people's points of view. Where we are now is, if you like, a decision in principle to pursue the development of those ideas along the Hilton Fenstanton Road. That's where we are, and that's what the Parish Council is suggesting that we support, or we are supporting. And I'm really trying to get your reaction to it. Okay, we've only got this far, there's still a lot more to be done. What do we think of it thus far? Are we okay with Route 2 rather than Route 6? Are we okay with the study as far as it's gone, given that we're looking at 6 different routes? Are we okay? Yes, please.
I think this is all fine, but no one seems to have taken any notice of people who live down the road. Down that section of road. Like
The Hilton,
a one-way road is absolutely ridiculous.
because you have to get in and out.
Yes, but if
No. I didn't mean the whole bit. I just meant that far
yeah, but
section.
it's on there that there's a one-way, could be made one way.
No, one way. So make it both ways, so that
Yes,
just to cut.
Just
to cut. I've just.
Anything
did
that
suggest
puts people
that.
off that road affects the businesses down there.
Yeah. I
It
suppose.
definitely would. I mean, we've seen it with the A14.
Yeah.
They've had enough trouble
I was
with
just
that.
thinking that far end's the most difficult part.
Well, I
so.
think the transport initiatives are certainly very aware, and they raise the point themselves, that there are farms, there are businesses being run along that road, and you can't make it worse for them just for the sake of people that want to travel outside of a vehicle. So I think they've got that point, but it's always worth emphasising, repeating that stuff. Any other feedback on the report, on transport initiatives?
Route 2 from last time was the preferred option.
Yeah.
It was the consensus, so I'm happy with it.
Okay, thank you very
I
much.
think it was very useful having the meeting that we attended earlier, because it was made very clear that Route 2 was preferable to Route 6.
Yes.
And Route 6 was the preferred route for now to do the feasibility study for people that somebody who cycled into St Ives every day, and somebody who was a keen cyclist and went to work every day, was very clear that cycling on the B1040 was a no-no.
And what was
So it was a
great?
very useful meeting.
What was great was he didn't defend it. He actually said, "Okay, I'll go back and do some more homework." So I was very impressed by that, maybe because I'm not
So it does show that outside consultation is not necessarily the answer, because there was local knowledge that informed his understanding of the situation to the betterment.
Indeed,
of us.
that's why the Cambridgeshire Community Foundation has made it very clear right from the start that they wanted parishioners to have the opportunity to have their say. which is what we're trying to
what
do.
you're saying, although it's highly desirable to have a separate cycle route and pedestrian route from Hilton to join Penstanton through the subway, I am beginning to be very gloomy about that possibility actually occurring.
Why?
Because I think it will be very expensive. And the road, as it is, you have very limited space after the bridge. There are houses on the right-hand side, so you can't take up more road space there. On the left-hand side, it's woodland, and I don't know who owns it, but you then still have to cross back over the bridge to the left-hand side of the road to complete your journey under the subway. Why are you following me?
I am, but I'm also aware that transport initiatives have said there are different options as to how they deal with that.
I don't see how you could do it, practically speaking. I don't see how you could possibly do it.
As far as I'm concerned, that's their job.
Oh,
It's
okay.
the detailed design phase. They have the knowledge, sorry.
The one thing I picked up on the previous report was when he did do the monitoring traffic, it was at the very start of the school Easter holidays.
Yeah.
So traffic flows would not have been regular anyway. And of course we've got this 40-mile-an-hour restriction along the road, so people just haven't been taking any notice of it.
I think the other thing to perhaps throw into the pot here, and some of you I know will be aware, that there's a group of people in the village that does a lot of speed watch stuff, and we have a lot of data. Okay, less so on the Hilton Stanton Road, but we do have a lot of data for years as to what our traffic flows are like. And as far as I'm concerned, that should be available to anybody that wants it, particularly with regard to doing a pathway like this.
And that's all on the website.
All
that data is up on the website, so everybody can look at it.
Yeah. Thank you, Andy. Okay, any other immediate thoughts? And if not, can I ask you to have a ponder and give us any other feedback? Drop a note to Nick or any of us, to be honest, me, just to let us know what your thoughts and views are. So that one, we can inform the report for sure, but secondly, that we can continue to feed the county council views, ideas, comments, such as I mean, this may be me being silly, but I'm really encouraged by how many of you come out tonight, and it's rather a cold night into the church. It says to me there is a level of interest in getting a pathway that allows people in the parish access without getting into a vehicle. So I hope I'm right.
Here.
Yes.
So, really, so lots of thank yous to you for all of your contributions. It has been immensely helpful. A number of people have emailed, by the way, a number of people who couldn't come tonight have emailed their views to us. Generally, I think it's fair to say that Group 2 does get a tick in the box, which is good. Big thank you also to the Cambridgeshire Community Foundation. Their funding, by the way, comes from a number of different organisations who want to support local communities. So thank you to them for supporting the study. To the County Council, who've been really immensely helpful and very responsive in dealing with us, but also in subcontracting the work to Transport Initiatives, who I think it's fair to say have impressed the County Council with the thoroughness of their study. So I feel good about that. And to Transport Initiatives, given the number of options they had to look at, for their detailed convincing analysis of the options and the responsiveness in particular to people's ideas, comments and feedback. Of course there's more work to be done, and as I said before, I kind of welcome that because it's difficult to make a sort of final decision. One, I'm not an expert, so understanding needs a bit more information, but also because there are still variations on the theme that we can look to adopting. So more to come. Yes?
When it gets to the detailed designing stage, who would be involved in that? Would there still be parishioner input into that? Or is that...
Well, I'm certainly expecting that to be the case. And to be honest, I think the pattern shown so far is that will be an expectation. But I'm happy to ask the question and get clarity on it. And I mean, I have to say with Transport Initiatives and the County Council, they've been very direct and open right from the start about getting in touch with us, asking us questions. So they've certainly shown that invitation to date. But let's ask the question. Okay. Detail. Whoops. Excuse my shorthand. Detailed design phase involvement, that says. It says that to me. Nick, by the way, is taking down all the comments and so on, so she'll have a more accurate view. I think that's it, unless there's anything you want us to cover.
Well, at the last meeting, I raised the question of whether there was any potential for redress for what was clearly, in our view, at the meeting, a bad decision on the side of the path which was built over the 104.
I know.
Because that has actually bedeviled this whole discussion. Now, who made that decision? Is there any possibility for redress? Is there any inquiry going on into why that decision was made? And what do we know about it? I'd just like to point those factors out, because frankly,
over getting some extra.
It's some extra leverage for our position.
Yeah, no, I think that's fair. And again, Transport Initiatives do say quite categorically, reckons the Potton Road in particular, that the pathway they put on that road is on the wrong side. They're quite black and white about it. It's on the wrong side.
Having said it's on the wrong side, is there any redress? Is there any inquiry about why it was made? What the decision? Who made the decision? And what circumstances would they therefore give us some redress for making a bad decision?
No, it's certainly a question worth asking. I mean, if I'm honest...
Has that question been asked?
Well, I've asked the question, the parish council's asked the question, and I know some number of parishioners have contacted the council themselves to say, why did this?
And has there been any satisfactory answer from the council? And what can we do to get a satisfactory answer? Because frankly, it's an outrage.
It's not acceptable, is it?
Well, tell you what, would you like to spearhead that one? To be honest, I'm at the point of thinking, how many battles and which one are we going to spend my time on?
But it does actually give leverage. If they acknowledge that a mistake was made, then there has to be some redress for the mistake.
Yes. I tell you what I think might happen, and I don't know the answer to your question at all, is that on the Potton Road, for example, there is a footpath that goes along to Mere Way, takes you to Hemmingford Way, and then there's another footpath that comes around, followed up on the Potton Road. So it's a very nice, circular, leisurely...
Doesn't go anywhere then.
It doesn't actually help you get your job or whatever. So I know that there's an argument for why they've put that on there.
But was there any consultation? Was there this process seems to have been subject to a consultation. Was there any consultation for that?
Not that I'm aware of.
Exactly. And therefore, a mistake has been made.
I appreciate that's how you feel. I'm still at the point of thinking, I want to focus on this and get that moving. And I understand the leverage works a nice one. We'll certainly include that. And I'd rather include that in our pursuance of this than try and
fight a separate battle on the other front.
Exactly.
I take your point. And especially if you are going to pursue Route 2, what's happened on the Potton Road is an embarrassment, but it's there and we're stuck with it. But I think we should certainly be pushing home the point about contractors doing things without consulting people. And whatever were they thinking about? It's the wrong side of the road. We go on the left.
It's no comfort, though, to know that we did actually ask them that. We actually made the point before they built it. So,
If it helps, I have a statement from the County Council about that. I'm not going to say where it came from particularly, but I can certainly give Nick and whatever the reference to pursue it further. And they say, I can confirm that the pedestrian path in place has been positioned in the correct side. Cambridge County Council, as Local Highways Authority, requested for the shared path to be on this west side of the bridge to link with the Hemmingford Grey Bridleway 14. I understand this may be less convenient for pedestrians using the path from the village. However, there is good visibility allowing the road to be crossed safely in the vicinity of the West Bank Bridge. Okay.
So there you have it.
So I can, if you want to pursue it, I can give you the source.
Sorry, can you just repeat
Is that because a
on the
private
west
way
bank?
outranks an improved first?
Well, whatever their decision is, that is the statement.
So they're expecting us to see.
Sorry, can I
Yeah,
just...
and I don't want to rattle them.
Sorry, hang on a second, please. Sorry. Please do speak.
Also, at that point there, you have 3 surface water flows all meeting in one place. You've got one coming this way, one coming that way, and one coming this way.
Or on the what
So
road?
the surface water flow has got to be able to link in to the existing surface water flow. Now, an inch of rain is nearly 4.5 million gallons of water over an acre. So they have to control this water. So there might be a very good reason because those existing surface water flows were already there
Oh, I see.
way before they built the A14.
So there might be technical reasons.
So this business with surface water flow, it's like the floodings that go at the moment. The floods that are taking place up in Yorkshire, they have had 6 months rain in 6 weeks. So you start thinking about these volumes of water. There might be very good engineering reasons as well, over and above what your colleague has said here, to keep this under control.
It was an original request by Highways England as part of the DCO, and County Council had oversight of that. So the proposal of having it on the west side, because of the right of way, was by Highways England as part of the DCO for the A14 construction.
So they were citing the bridle way and
Yes.
not water flow.
They were citing a bridle way.
But before we get too deeply into that one,
That's a different
I'm
subject.
going to pull you back to our route 2 and trying to get that pursued. Can I make an assumption that you would support the parish council, one, to make sure that we get to the next stage, which is the detailed design, and hopefully ultimately get a route built?
Yes, indeed.
Totally.
Yes.
Totally.
Raise the hands.
Totally.
Yes.
I'll raise all of mine. I'm desperate for this.
All my hands.
Let's get it done to qualify.
Yeah, I agree. Yes, I'm just having to temper my desires and expectations in terms of what all these things.
I'm trying not to hold my breath.
Sorry?
I'm trying not to hold my breath.
Yeah, I wouldn't advise it.
I'd like to thank Anne for all the hard work she's put into this, which has been huge, absolutely huge.
Thank you. Sorry, you were going to answer.
Sorry. Does option 2 include for the upgrading the track between Penstanton and the guided busway?
Oh yes. There's a question mark as to where the Hilton Parish Council version of option 2 butts up the Penstanton Parish Council, and we've already started those discussions. And by the way, they have now got permission to get rid of those bars in the underpass. Yay! Yes. so they're very keen to work with us to make sure that there's a continuous route from Hilton through Penstanton along Fen Lane to the guided busway. So that's the plot, which would be great. Okay, people. Sorry.
So the feasibility studies you want sent to where? By when?
Nick, please. Nick. Give it to Nick, or hand it to me, or stick it in the letterbox. I don't mind. But this week. This week will be lovely. Okay, let's go home and get warm.
Thank you, Anne. Cheers.